everybody, and welcome back to my channel. So, it has been a little bit since I've done a video again. Life is just life, and I try my best to get on here and do videos as I can, but sometimes there's a little bit of a gap between things. But it is what it is, right? So, today I wanted to talk about Soulmere Oracle. And it's the same artist as the Nova Witch Tarot. I've really resonated deep with the Soulmere Oracle. I love the style of artwork in both these decks. I know that these decks haven't necessarily been everybody's cup of tea, and that's okay. It doesn't have to be. But there's something about the artwork in these decks that really, really, really sit with me. The first one to come into my collection was the Nova Witch Tarot, which I believe is newer than the Soul Mirror. I think the Soul Mirror came out prior to this one. I'm not 100% sure, don't really know. But the Nova Witch Tarot I got because there was just something about this artwork that, I don't know, it just really resonated with me. And it was kind of one of those things where it's a very youthful energy, and like the card backs are amazing, right? It's kind of a youthful energy in a way, but I don't know. It really resonated with me. I really liked my readings with it. My readings were a little. Do you know when you have a deck and it really speaks to you, but your readings are a little kind of off with it? That is what started happening with this deck. So I put it away. This deck did come into my life when I got really, really sick. So a few months ago, I got so sick. It was insane. I don't know if it was COVID. I don't know what it was, but I was really, 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 really sick for almost a month. And it took me a long time to get to feeling better. And this deck came in the day before I started with this virus or whatever it was. And so it kind of put a damper on my connection with this deck because I was trying to work with this deck while I was really super sick. And I don't know, it has to be cleared. Honestly, I'll have to reset it and clear it because I think that that's some of my resistance with it. The other thing too is the age of the court cards. The kings all look like they're like 12 years old, and that I have a little bit of a problem with. But the rest of the deck, I love the images. I love the way it feels. It kind of speaks, and I like that they have, instead of pages, they've got Girl of Swords. And then we have the knights and then the kings and the queens, right? So that, I kind of like where they went with that. It is very feminine based, so that works for me. I really like it. Honestly, I do. I enjoy it very, very much. So this deck is this video is not about this deck. I still have to do a video about this deck. Oh, like, I love it. I love the facial expressions. I like the energy of it. And most of the images, like most of the people are not looking at you, which I really like as well too. I mean, there are some that are, right? But most of them aren't. And there's just this really cool feeling to it. But like I said, I have to reset this deck, I feel, because of the time that it came into my life and what was happening. And I feel like that's something that needs to be done, right? So that's the Nova Witch Tarot. And that's what kind of started me on this whole journey of this artist, Anna Noves. I have my cat, my black cat, who is like my shadow, that literally is like my emotional support animal. His name's Nova. So it kind of really resonated with me, right? Now, when I saw that she was the creator, or the artist, sorry, behind this deck, I grabbed this one too, right? Because I was like, I love her artwork. I do. I love it. It speaks to me. And I've been working with this now for a couple weeks. The guidebook, like honestly, the guidebook is great. I like the way it's written. I like the way they say things. I like all that stuff. So this guidebook is really good. I don't know why Blue Angel just lets their decks like fly around in here. Like it's so weird to me. But whatever. It showed up in great condition, so obviously there's not an issue, right? Now, the thing that I have to say about this deck is the way that I am drawn to use this deck, I wish the backs were reversible. And I'm going to zoom in a little bit closer so we can get into the here and check this out. All right, the design on the back is amazing, right? Like that's stellar. But I wish this was shrunken and it was mirrored, right? Because it is a soul mirror. So they should have mirrored the images on the back so that you could have used this in reverse. And the reason why I'm saying that is because on each one of these cards, you have a shadow aspect and you have a light aspect of the card, right? So for this one, it's internal, external, dishonest, truthful, ignorant, knowing. So there's two sides to each of the like to these cards, right? And the way that I am naturally drawn to work with this deck is to allow for reversals to be happening in the deck. And when I get a reversal, it is obviously the shadow aspect word, right? When it's upright, it's the light aspect of the word. In the book, they do not give you a reversal, right? Which is fine. Because intuitively, I can read this and I can pick out what indifference means and what passionate means with this card and how it applies to the situation that I'm asking about, right? Because they do touch on it. So to me, it only would have made sense to make these backs reversible because then you could have used it in the shadow aspect and the light aspect. And that's how I immediately was drawn to use this deck. The artwork is amazing. And I don't know. That's the one thing I really wish. I really wish they just made the backs reversible so that you could use it in that mannerism, right? Because if I was to sit here and I was to spread, right? That didn't go so hot, but you know what I mean? I would, I'm obviously more drawn to pick up a positive card than I am a negative card because sometimes we don't want to hear the negative aspect of the card, right? We're not ready to face that reality yet. So I just feel like it would make it a little bit easier to just be able to have a more accurate reading, I guess, right? I like the edging. It's that edging that's not flaky, it's not sharp, it's nothing like that. A couple of my cards were kind of stuck together a little bit, but not really that many, like nothing crazy, right? But I just feel that I love the duality of the words happening, right? And another thing that people will probably be irritated with is the signature of the artist in some of the work, right? I honestly don't care. Like it doesn't bug me. But I know some people get like really focused on that and are unable to see past that. I'm not really sure why that is because it's just a little signature, but to each their own, right? Everybody's got their thing. But I could see that irritating people, right? But I don't know. I've really enjoying this deck. I like what it's saying. It's really connecting to me. There's tons of black cats in it, which is awesome. And I think it's beautiful. The only thing is, that was a cat here. They aren't shiny, right? Just a little bit of sheen to them, not much, which is super nice. But it probably has that coating that scratches. I'm not sure. I don't notice any scratching on it at this time, but I can see it might pick up scratches. I'm not sure. But I love how it's all like the universe, all the stars and the blackness behind her is reaching in and covering her eyes. And it's like the universe, you know, teaching her a lesson, right? Learning. And I love the artwork. I'm not sure why, because I feel like this isn't a style that I'm typically drawn to. At least I don't think so. But I don't know. I love it. I really do. But like I said, I just wish that I could use it the way that I want to. Like, it's just the backs, right? Like, if they changed the backs, it would have made it perfect. And because it's called Soul Mirror and the whole entire deck is about the shadow and the light aspect and the mirroring of each of the words, right? Distance, connected, right? The opposites. Why would you not do that on the back, right? Like, to me, it only makes sense, but that's me. This is the first card I pulled when I got this deck in reverse. And it does have a little, some of them do have a little bit like a little quote. So it says, "Find your wings." I don't know. I've been really connecting with it and I've been really enjoying my draws with it. And I've just been kind of drawing one throughout at some point throughout the day and just asking like, what do I need to know? What do I need to pay attention to? What is going on? Right? And so far, it's been very accurate. And there's things hidden in these cards. Like, I didn't even notice until like a day or so ago that there is a shadow image right here that has like almost like bunny ears. Those two stars are its eyes. I don't know. Let's see if I can. Can you see it? There's like this shadow image behind them. It's kind of creepy. And I don't know if they touch on it on the book or in the book or not, because I haven't gotten this card yet. But I thought that was really interesting, and I was like, man, like there's just some things that are showing up in these cards when I look at them, and I'm like, whoa, I didn't notice that before. And I love, there's like so many black cats in this. It's great. Yeah, so I've been really, I don't know, I've really been enjoying the images in this deck, working with it. Like I said, like the stuff that it's saying is amazing. And I like that it's a guidebook that it has enough meat, but it's not like a 2-hour read, right? And I really like that aspect of it. I'm enjoying using these cards at night with like the starry skies. It just seems to really work for me. And they're deep. They are deep. If you can sit with them and you can listen to them and you can spend time with them. This was my card for today in reverse. So resistance. I don't know. That's how I want to work with them. And like I said, all they had to do was just mirror these images on the back, and it it would have been perfect. They are a little bit of a larger card, so that is a little bit of a stretch for me to get my fingers around, right? And to get a good shuffle. But they are Blue Angel, and I'm starting to notice that I'm liking Blue Angel decks, right? I did all that shuffling and this card is still the one on top. That's hilarious, eh? I don't know. It works for me. I don't know. I haven't been seeing a whole heck of a lot about this deck, so it makes me wonder if people are enjoying it, not enjoying it, using it, not using it. Like I don't really know. So for me though, like I said, I've been using it in reverse or upright, and whatever way the card lays is what aspect of that card I've been drawn into, right? And like I said, they've got some nice, well, this is all Blue Angel stuff in the back, but it's pretty nice. There's like a few like spreads, there's a few different ways they explain what mirroring means. I don't know. I've really enjoyed it, honestly. I have. I don't know. Has anyone out there used this deck? How do you use it? Have you been drawn to use it in reverse? Yeah, see, I am getting some scuffing where the mat is coming off, and we're getting like a little bit of like a scuff happening. It's right here. You probably, I don't know if you can pick it up, but it's like the coating that they put on the card to make it not shiny. It eventually starts to scratch, right? It's something that, like, I think it's with Blue Angels decks. I haven't noticed it with anybody else's. I don't know. I like it. I've really been enjoying it. I'm actually feeling more connected to this one than I am the Nova Witch. But like I said, the Nova Witch showed up at a really messed up time. So I probably just need to kind of clear it. It is a little bit more of a youthful energy. Like, it's not necessarily something that I'm typically drawn to. Like, the people in this deck are very young. The images are very young, but in a way it almost kind of connects with like my teenager aspect of myself, or like my inner child even. So I feel like the work with this deck kind of lies in that spectrum for me, when I need to connect to who I was in the past or my inner child, right? Right now I'm going through some pretty crazy premenopausal stuff. So I'm finding it kind of nice to be able to like connect back into the maiden and mother aspect of my life, right? And I feel like this really connects into the maiden aspect of my life, right? I'm at the end of my mother, and I will be probably soon, within the next 5 years. I'm hoping 5 years. It might even be 10, who knows, right? Like premenopause seems to last forever. So I will be eventually, sooner than later, stepping into the crone aspect, right? I am still in my mother phase. However, I'm at the end of that. I'm hoping, right? I'm super close. And I don't know why I'm hoping, because like I'm thinking menopause is maybe going to be better than premenopause, but it's probably going to be an even bigger nightmare than what I'm experiencing right now. So we'll see. But this kind of speaks to more of that maiden aspect of me, that part of me that feels so far away now and lost to me. Like up until about a year or so ago, I felt very still connected to the maiden aspect of myself, right? I still felt connected to my youth and those and my teenager years and my young 20s. And now though that I'm at where I am and the way things have been coming and going, this aspect of me, my maiden part of my life, it feels so far away. And this deck kind of connects me back to that point in my life. At least it does for me, right? I that's where it kind of goes for me, and I think that's where it's going to sit in my practice. This one, however, like I said, I'm very drawn to use it with clients. I'm drawn to use it on myself. If I do start to really use it heavily with my clients, I will probably buy a second copy, so I can have one that my clients can touch and interact with, and then one that is just mine, right? So that's what I tend to do, is decks that I use with my clients that either stay in that space, or if I'm really drawn to work with myself, I sometimes then buy a second copy, just because of, you know how the energies go, right? Like people touching your decks, things happening, there's energy transfer, there's all that stuff, right? So I kind of don't want that in my personal work. So if I do end up bringing this into that space, I will probably purchase a second copy for my own personal use, right? But I just wish they did reversals on the back, and this deck would have been like chef's kiss in my opinion. I really like that there's like the two opposing words, And I'm going to still use it the way that I'm using it, right? With the reversals, whether the backs reflect that or not, it doesn't really honestly matter. It would have been really, really great if they did do that, but they didn't. So it is what it is. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Enjoy this beautiful day. And if it's sunny and warm and gorgeous where you are, don't forget to get outside and connect to Mother Earth. If you haven't subscribed already, please give me a subscribe, a like, thumbs up. All that stuff is awesome. Commenting, all those things really help us out. And like I said, I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.